Hi everyone, it's Suzanne and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Tap. If you're new to this show, then welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you're somebody who's come back every week, I'm so glad you joined us again. So my name is Suzanne Gundersen. I'm a holistic stress relief mentor and I help people to relieve anxiety on demand, resolve chronic stress and trauma. This show is called Let's Tap. It's an opportunity for me to come on and share with you one effortless technique called energy tapping, which can bring you endless life-changing shifts. And so if you have any type of stress or struggle, then tapping can be an amazing tool in your toolbox of stress relief techniques for life. So tonight's topic is all about how to manifest your financial abundance. But before we get started, I want to just say hello to some of the people that are on. Hello, Amber Elizabeth. And I see a couple more people joining. Thank you all so much for being here. Energy tapping is a self-use acupressure technique where you literally use your fingertips to engage on energy points of the body. And when you do that, you're helping circulate the energy in your body, which helps us to shift our experience of stress. Whether that stress is kind of fast-moving acute stress, or if it's ongoing and prolonged chronic type of stress, or maybe even type of a traumatic loss type of stress. So I'm going to go over some of the energy points that I like to use when I tap. And if you've been tapping along, you may notice some other points that I don't use, but use whatever points you're comfortable with. But if this is your first time, then just follow along. So I invite you just to take 2 fingers, either hand, doesn't matter. You can use one hand, both hands. The first point is if you glue your eyebrows together right here, and just take your 2 fingers and start tapping right there on that point. This is the bladder meridian and it represents emotional trauma. And then tap on the side of the eye right here. You can do both sides if you want or just one side. This is the gallbladder meridian and it represents anger. And then on the top of your cheekbone right here, it's the stomach meridian and it represents anxiety. And then take all 4 fingers, both hands, right here where your collarbones meet. This is the kidney meridian and it represents fear. And then just take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. And the reason why you do that is because we have these rivers of energy in our body called meridians. And the meridians run from our head to our feet and out our arms to our fingertips. So when we grab the entire wrist, we're getting all the meridians that run under the bottom of our arm and the top of our arm out to our fingertips. So you may have seen some people tapping like this, or maybe even slapping the inside and the outside of their wrist. But when you squeeze the whole wrist, you get all those meridians. And so the thumb, the meridian that ends at the thumb is the lung meridian, and that represents grief. The index finger is the large intestine, represents stubbornness. The middle finger is the pericardium meridian, which is the sac around the heart, and that represents jealousy. Skip the ring finger, go to the pinky. On the side of the pinky is the heart meridian, it represents shock, and on the side of the hand is the small intestine meridian, and that represents fear of an experience. So instead of tapping on every single finger or just tapping on the side karate chop point, you can just grab and squeeze your whole wrist. So again, if you're just joining us, we're just going over the tapping points that I like to use. Again, they're between your eyes, 2 fingers between your eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbones, and you grab your wrist. And the reason why we tap on these specific points are because these are the beginning points in each of the meridians, the bladder meridian, gallbladder, stomach, kidneys. See, if you imagine kind of like a linear line, you wouldn't poke in the middle of it to get the energy to move. But if you tap on either end of it, that's how the energy starts to shift. And all of our meridians are interconnected, so you can't mess this up. Even after we talk tonight and you say, oh, I forgot which point she said. Did she say here, here? It doesn't matter. Because when you start to tap on these energy points, you get the circulation of that energy body moving. And that's what's going to bring us relief. Because when we think of distressing thoughts, our body has a reaction to those thoughts. And often in that reaction, we can get stuck in kind of a fight, flight, freeze type of energy. And what happens when we're tapping is we're helping the energy body to begin to regulate that energy to be at a pace that personally works for us. It also helps us to detach from the meaning that has us kind of tripped up and triggered up into that, stress response. So I want to just say hi to a couple more people that I see have joined. I see Mary's here, Yvonne's here, hello. Dave's here, Lana's here, and thanks everybody for sharing. I appreciate that. Jennifer Simpson's here. She says, hello, I made it. Lonnie K. Lonnie asked if we should do it on both sides. You certainly can do it on both sides if you'd like, but don't worry about that for purposes of tonight. And if you're just a beginner, you can just use one hand. It still works. Hello, Georgia's here. So tonight's topic is all about manifesting financial abundance. This year has really been a year where we are transforming our value system from moving from having an identity outside of ourselves and the things that we used to claim our personal identity through our jobs, our friends, our cultures, our religions, our groups, the institutions that we belong to. As many of those things we are realizing to come to a new level of awareness that they're just not aligned with who we truly are. So we're coming into our own personal value system. And that paradigm shift is making it be a little bit, challenging for us these days. We're really wondering what our identity is for ourselves personally and what we value, what's important to us, and how we're going to express that value in the world. That's all about our solar plexus. Our solar plexus is in the middle of our body. It is yellow like the color of the sun, and it really is how we share our value with the world. And the abundance that we want in the world is only going to be able to reflect back to us based on how we are expressing our personal value. So where are you this year in terms of the energy shift of identifying for yourself your own personal value? What is important to you? Who are you? How do you express yourself? Have you found ways to express your authentic voice and truly honor who you are? And maybe change up some of the connections that you have in your life with some of those groups and organizations and institutions and cultures and religions that maybe just don't suit you anymore for who you personally are. Maybe they did back when you were unconscious or when you were more conditioned by people to really find value outside of yourself. But who are you now in having the shift of the paradigm shift to coming back into who you truly are and what's important to you? And that's going to then reflect in the universe, the abundance that is going to be received back into your life experience. So if you're not feeling stable or you're a little unsure, well, we're going to be tapping on that tonight to help you get crystal clear on your own personal value and your worthiness. That way you can express that vibration out into the universe and be able to be a receiver that matches that level of worthiness and abundance for however you want to receive abundance, whether it's abundance in health, abundance in connection, abundance in money. Every type of, the universe doesn't categorize abundance differently. Abundance is abundance, and it really is a reflection on your own personal value. All right, Georgia says, great topic. Awesome. Amy Sunshine's here. Hello. Perfect peace moment now. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Yvonne, for sharing, and thanks everybody who shares. It's so important for everyone to be able to have this amazing self-use acupressure technique called energy tapping. Now, you may have heard of it be called as EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or even Faster EFT, or Be Set Free Fast. There's lots of names that are out there for tapping. I just like to keep it simple and call it energy tapping, and my approach truly is more law of attraction based, meaning that you want to go to the thing that is blocking you, the thing that you're not receiving, the thing that you're really stuck about, because that's really going to help us get to the root of what is in the way of clearing the path to be able to be an open receiver to all the possibilities, to all of the abundance that you'd like to come for you. So if you're just joining us, we went over the tapping points. We'll just show you again: between your eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbone. You're going to grab your wrist. I'll tell you exactly what to do and when to do it. Your job right now is to follow the 4 easy steps of tapping. And step number 1, and for tonight's topic, is about how to manifest your financial abundance. Step number 1 is I want you to notice where you would like more abundance in your life, financial abundance. Do you want a new car? Do you want to get a new house? Do you want to change an apartment? Do you want more money in your savings account? What is it that you would like to receive financially. And just notice how it's not there yet. It's just not there. You're still driving the old car. You're still living in the old apartment. You're still looking at your bank account. It doesn't have the number that you want in it. Just notice it. That's step number one of tapping. Is notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. So go to that lack of abundance. That's going to help us get very, very close to the root that needs to be weeded out and removed in order for us to clear the pathway to the abundance that you're looking for. So step number one of tapping, go to where you're experiencing lack. I don't have enough money for, you fill in the blank, whatever it is that you might be looking for. And then step number two of tapping is to give that experience an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. If 0 is, doesn't really bother me, and 10 is, I really need this money. I really want this new car. I really want this new job. I really want more money in my bank account. I really want, to move and have a new place to live. Whatever it is, what's the intensity number that you're experiencing that lack and that desire? And then step number three is to go to the part that stands out the most, the part where you're just like, oh, I just really need to pay that bill, or I just really need to get a new car, or I just really want to take a vacation and I don't have the money for it, or, I'm just tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or I don't want to have to go back to this job anymore. Whatever it is, whatever the worst part is, that's step number three of tapping. You see, you need to go to the part where you really are kind of pressing on the pain a little bit. That's going to help us get really close to the root of whatever it is that is blocking your abundance. And then step number four is we're going to tap. So if you've been following along, step number one was you found something where you were focused on a desire for more financial abundance and where you feel like it's just not showing up in your life. I don't see it in my bank account. I'm still driving the old car. I'm still in the old apartment, whatever it is. Then step number two is give it an intensity number on the scale of 0 to 10 where, how you experience it in your energy body, you feel that revving up of the intensity, then a number. And then step number three is to go to the part that really stands out the most where you're like, but I really need that job, or I really want to go on a vacation, or I really, really, really need to be able to pay that bill. Whatever it is, just go to that thing. And you might see it as a movie in your mind. You might hear it as a mantra that you tell yourself, like, I need more money. I'm always running out of money. Whatever you tell yourself, just notice that. And then step number four is we're going to tap. So take your two fingers, either hand, doesn't matter. Just start tapping between your eyes and say all the blocks in the way of this financial abundance. I really want more money. It's not here yet. I must be blocking it. There must be reasons for the block. I don't know what they are, but I don't have the new car. I don't have the new job. I don't have the new place to live. I don't have enough money in my bank account. Or whatever it is that I don't have yet. I really want it. I really, really want it. I want more money to have the thing that I want. But it's not here yet. So I must be blocking it. And then tap on the side of the eye. My awareness that it's not here yet. My point of view that it's not here yet. Who I think I am because it's not here yet. My personal value and worthiness and how it's being matched by the universe isn't giving me this thing that I want. And then tap under your eye. So I must be blocking it. All the blocks and barriers to my financial abundance. All the reasons, the thoughts, the stories, the justifications that are in the way. I'm willing right now to clear them out. It's safe to let them go. I deserve to let them go. And then tap on your collarbone. I learned things from the past. from people in the past, from groups I belonged to in the past, that gave away my personal value to belong to them. It's how I survived. But I'm clearing this misunderstanding now. And I'm willing to take back more of my personal power and more of my value and live on my terms. And then tap between your eyes. I've been giving away my value, been giving away my worth to things I stayed connected to that were outside of myself. And I'm willing to shift this now, to bring it back to me. I'm ready to reclaim my value, reclaim my worthiness. As I reclaim my worthiness, I clear up all the old beliefs, the old connections that had me living someone else's value, someone else's rules, so I can come into my value, my personal worthiness. I am immensely valuable. A part of me has always known this. And tap on your collarbone. Whoever taught me that I wasn't valuable, that I wasn't worthy, they were just sharing with me their unworthiness. And I'm willing to transform all of this today. And then take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. Take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word clear. Then in your mind, I want you to imagine whatever financial abundance looks like to you, what it sounds like to you. Maybe it looks like a wallet full of cash. Maybe it looks like a brand new car in the driveway. Maybe it looks like a signed contract where you're moving into the apartment of your dreams. What does it sound like to you? Does it sound like, yes, I got it. Yes, I received it. What does it feel like? Do you feel this exhilarating relief in your body of having received what it is that you know you're a match to in your immense value? Whatever that is, go to that wonderful experience and make that a 10 on a scale of 0 to 10. And then take your two fingers and tap between your eyes and say, I've always been worthy. It was just covered up temporarily, but I'm accessing it now. My worth and what it looks like. My worth and what it sounds like. My worth and what it feels like. I invite all open paths to my financial abundance right now. I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am immensely valuable, and I welcome all forms of abundance to come my way. And then take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist, pulse around a couple times, take a nice breath, blow it out, say the word peace. Then I invite you to go back to the thing that you were feeling stuck about, in lack about, and notice what's the shift you may have experienced in terms of intensity number. So maybe you had something that was a 10 before, and now it's a 4. Or maybe it was an 8, and now it's a 2. So I invite you to pop into the chat window and let me know, where were you at the beginning of our tapping with regards to your feeling lack of financial abundance, or your struggle and difficulty, or feeling blocks with whatever it is that you're wanting to have as financial abundance, and what's the number that you're having now? And also share with me if you can start to actually see it and realize it. We start to process the energy body as blocks, barriers, resistance. There opens up a channel for you to be able to see more clearly what it is that you want. You can hear it, you can experience it, and that's what it is to be able to shift our experience of stress using tapping, is when we're in that reactive mode of it's not here yet and I really need it, we're really pulling at the energy to come in our direction. But when we tap, we can loosen up our grip on all that pulling and metaphorically speaking, kind of like just drop the rope, and be able to have more of a loose connection with the thing that we want, which really opens up the pathways and the channels for the universe to deliver it to us. So I'm going to read some comments and see what people are sharing. I see Corianne's here, and Sherry's here, Joni's here, Damien's here. Hello. Georgia said she was a 10 and now 4. That's fantastic. And Jennifer Simpson said that was wonderful. Thank you. Felt a huge shift. That is amazing. I love to hear that. So for everyone who's joined, I have a Facebook group called the Empowered Tapping Revolution. You're all welcome to join. There's a link in the description box of this video, as well as I offer a 30-minute mini tapping experience. So if you're ready to get your financial abundance pathways completely open, then you're invited to put yourself on my calendar, and I offer 30 minutes of a video chat for you to learn this amazing technique that literally has transformed my life. And, I grew up in a very dysfunctional, abusive household, like so many of us have. And by the time I got into my late 20s, early 30s, I was just living with chronic anxiety and stress. I was an emotional overeater. I was hundreds of pounds and just living without any sense of aliveness or personal worth or identity. And after about 15 years of tapping now, I really have transformed my personal value system. I have awareness of what triggers me. I'm able to I use this amazing tool to be able to process all of how I experience my stress, be able to detach from all the personalized meaning that I've given the triggers, and be able to really build that resiliency in my mind body to be able to go out into the world and live my authentic truth. I think so much of these transformative times are really, demanding us to access our inner value and express that authentic truth. So if you're ready to go on that journey, then I invite you to get on my calendar. It's 30 minutes and get you tapping, because it is my passion to be able to share this technique with everybody in the world, because it's free. You don't need to buy a pill or a potion or a card or anything that's outside of yourself. Literally, it's you in your mind body and moving and shifting the energy to be able to help regulate the momentum of your energy body, detach from the personalized meaning that you've given your triggers, and also in the neuroscience angle of it, really help your nervous system be able to process and resolve all the body systems that may be in reactive mode, that may be showing up in your life as autoimmune issues, chronic stress issues, whether they're anxiety or depression or however you may be experiencing it. Tapping is an amazing technique, and if it resonates with you, then I invite you to bring it more into your life. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. Just find something that does, because we're no longer living in times where it's an option. You need to find some type of tool or skill to help you get to the next level. At the next level, I just mean sometimes it's to survive the day. We are really going through massive transformational changes from the 3rd dimension up to the 4th, 5th, 6th dimension of energy. And it really will require us to be able to access our inner value system and no longer be in the conditioned behaviors, attitudes, characters that come from, old programming. And we really are seeing that so clearly right now in terms of the abundance that is not coming our way as we shift the guard internally between what we valued outside of ourselves and who we value now for ourselves. So I'll just read a couple more comments here. Lonnie said she was at a 10 and now a 2. Anne gave a nice little smiley face. Damien says that sounds amazing. Sherry says she enjoyed this very much. My website is transformedconnections.com, Janice, transformedconnections.com. And Corianne says, thank you for offering this service. Absolutely. So again, I have a private Facebook group called the Empowered Tapping Revolution. You're all welcome to join. Also, I have a free 30-minute mini tapping video chat experience with me. So if you're really ready, and by that I mean if you are committed to overcoming your stress and struggle, if you're committed to welcoming the energy of being a receiver in the most crystal clear way that you can imagine, get on my calendar and let's get you going. Let's get you tapping. Because tapping is just something that, like I said, has transformed my life. It's transformed thousands of lives that I've helped. I teach classes online. I do workshops. I do transformational retreats. But this is my gift, is to come on every Monday night at the Akashic Academy and teach Let's Tap, which is just a very simple way to share with you the tapping points, how to use them, the 4 easy steps of tapping, and be able to really help you just jumpstart and kickstart your resolving your stress and struggle, no matter what that looks like. So each week we have a different topic. Tonight's topic was around manifesting financial abundance. So if you're just watching this now, you're invited to go back and replay. But again, the 4 easy steps of tapping. Step number 1 is notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. Step number 2 is give it an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. If 0 is it doesn't bother you, and 10 is it really bothers you, what number would you pick? And try to find something that's higher than a 6. Step number 3 of tapping is probably the most important part, which is really aiming at the part that stands out the most, the part that really gets you, because that's going to help you get close to the root of what is triggering you to react in the stress and struggle that you're having the experience. And then step number 4 is to tap. The tapping points are very simple. Between your eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbone, grab your wrist and squeeze it. If you know other points, great, you're welcome to use other points. There are hundreds of points all over the body. But I just like to use the ones that are more aligned with the fight or flight energy. But you can use under your nose, on your chin, under your arm, top of head. Every point that you know of, you're invited to use it, whatever you're most comfortable with it. All the points are interconnected, like I said, so you really can't mess this up, because when you start to aim at what bothers you while you're tapping at the same time, you're shifting that experience of the energy in your body from being stuck and stagnant to flowing and in motion. Our energy likes to move. It likes to be in motion. And we are just living in these very transformative times that are we're just constantly being overstimulated and bombarded with information. And so our bodies are literally locking down into a stress response. And so tapping can really help the energy body be able to start to be more fluid and be more in motion. And that's really going to help us and all of our body systems be able to breathe, regulate our heartbeat, feel more calm in our muscles and our joints and our tendons, and be able to start to reverse some of the chronic stress symptoms that you may be experiencing, because you're going through life just really tightened and tensed up. Wonderful. I'm screening a couple more comments here. Well, as always, thank you so much for listening to me, and I appreciate everyone who's joined me tonight. If this is something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me and share with me what topics you'd like me to share on this show. It's every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, I think on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern is the replay. But feel free to reach out to me and send me a message. Get onto the Empowered Tapping Revolution group. My website is Transform Connections. All of those links are in the description box of this video. So if you have any ideas of things that you'd like me to share as topics for tapping, feel free to message me and let me know, and I certainly will consider it. If not, thank you so much for listening again. Have a wonderful evening and keep tapping.